I know a lot of you know that my sister and I, we found each other just like in the last 6 weeks. So we have been having so much fun. And, I want to do a video called My Sister Does My Makeup. And I asked Cindy what is her favorite foundation and blush and mascara, and I wrote down all the products that she loves to use every day, and I ordered them, and so I'm gonna use everything that she uses and show you what it looks like. But I'm so excited to do that. Desi is across the room right now giving me the old evil eye because he's not in the shot. But anyway, hey everybody, thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and Desi. I hope you had a calm, productive week, and I am so proud of all of us. We have sacrificed, we have stayed home, and it looks like we're flattening the curve in a lot of places. So yeah. We're going to get through this together, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for your sacrifice. I get so many messages lately about anxiety and worry, and it's something that, we really don't talk about much, and I thought, let's do this today. Let's talk about just, the top 5 things that women over 60 worry about. And I think it's kind of important to, kind of shed a little light on this, have a conversation about it, see if you can relate to the things that women most report that they worry about, and maybe, come up with some ideas, some tips, some solutions as to how we can perhaps lead a calmer life. But I thought in this particular time right now, let's talk about putting all that's going on right now aside. What we used to worry about in our life, but let's just take a closer look at that. Wow, that sounds so NBC, doesn't it? Let's take a closer look. I was reading a couple fantastic articles. They sent out, just thousands of surveys to women, and they did focus groups, and they kind of really narrowed down the 4 top fears that women have, the kind of fears the kind of worries that they have that keep them up at night, that affect their life. And the first one that they worried about was being alone and living alone. And so many of them feared losing their husbands. And I can so relate to that. And I know so many of you can relate to that too. Years ago when I started my channel, I had been married all my life. 15 years to add, and almost 20 years to go. And they were husbands that pretty much, they gave me a good life. They took care of me. So I figured, well, I can't make it without them. I mean, right or wrong, that's how I felt. I don't think I even paid an electric bill. So when I first started my channel, I was thrown into this world that I didn't know. I was 58 years old, and there was no husband. I was alone, and I was terrified. And for those of you that have been with me these last 5 years, you have seen how that fear of being alone has grown into this fear that I actually might meet somebody and not be alone anymore. That's how much I have come into my own being alone. But if you could have told me years ago that I would find such happiness and peace being on my own, and how that feels, how empowering it feels, that my life is not affected by another person's spending or their mood, and I'm not putting down marriage at all, you know, not at all. But I allowed my marriage to make me feel weak, or to make me feel insecure, like without him, what am I going to do? And it turned out all those fears were completely unfounded, although getting from A to B was not easy. You know, life finds a way. So whether it's financially or emotionally, there's such a feeling of confidence and empowerment when you control your own destiny. So all I would say to that fear of being alone is, I'm not a particularly strong person. And if I can make it, anybody can make it. You know, I have to say, after reading some of the results of these surveys, I was so surprised at number 2, this one, that women worry about a failing mind. As soon as they hit that like 62, 63-year-old, that area, they start worrying about Alzheimer's or slowing down mentally. And if they can't find their keys, if they can't remember if they made the coffee or not, if they can't remember someone's name, sometimes this will send them into a panic. And I was so heartened. And I wish somebody had told me this a long time ago. But when you're 60 years old, you have a 96% chance of never having anything wrong with your mental capacity or Alzheimer's or anything like that. So when we're out somewhere and we blank on our cell phone number, or we blank on somebody's maiden name, or even our address, you know, because sometimes anxiety and stress can just, you know, blank us right out. Like, what's your address? And then we think, oh my gosh, I'm losing it. And no, we're not. They say the things that really help us is learning something new that stimulates our brains to be more efficient. And because we have this burst of creativity when we get into our 60s to pursue all kinds of different things that will stimulate our brain, you know, even if it's just reading, playing chess, playing cards, anything that, you know, we have to problem solve a little bit and we have to learn something, but also, you know, just relaxing and having fun helps keep our mind intact. But yeah, we have a 96% chance of having absolutely nothing wrong with our brain. So the next time you don't remember your cell phone number, you're cool, you're fine. I gotta say, you know, some of the worst decisions I think I've ever made in my life is because I fell in love with the wrong person. Number 3 on the list of what women worried about was their fading looks, their fading beauty, their fading youth. And they said it in, of course, all different kinds of ways. But in the end, they felt that they were becoming less attractive, they were becoming invisible, they worried that they weren't as attractive to their husbands, and they started to feel very sad about it. You know, I honestly truly believe that I could do 10 videos on this subject. and this is not a subject that I feel that I have come to terms with. I feel, as a woman who's 65, that there is a disconnect between how I feel inside and what is showing on the outside. And like, I can be shopping somewhere in the old days when we could do that. I could be shopping somewhere and then look in a mirror or something and see my reflection and think, oh my gosh, that looks like my mom. Only when my mom was, I mean, you know, have you ever done that? And it's like, it's brand new news. Oh my gosh, I'm not young anymore. I would say pretty much all of us here, when we were young and we had our little mini skirts on and our long hair and, you know, our pink frosted lipstick, men were falling all over themselves, you know, when they would talk to us. You know, their face would get all red, and we'd walk into a record store and they'd probably pass out if we said hi to them. I mean, yeah, I mean, as a woman, you're used to that kind of feedback, that kind of, you know, that raised eyebrow from a man. I mean, it's just a fact of life, you know, that you're reinforced all the time. And for most of us, our identity does not get wrapped around how we look. And if it does, then that can cause us tremendous problems, I think, down the road in the plastic surgeon's office. Fading beauty, fading you, it's a challenge. I think we can kind of turn it into something fun, because every plastic surgeon or every dermatologist will tell us we can take 10 years off of our face if we take care of ourselves, if you know, we eat the right food, we drink a lot of water. There's so many topical things that we can use that helps us slow down the aging process. That's what this channel is all about. That's what we're all doing together. So it becomes fun, it becomes a challenge. And I see so many of you, your pictures, and you're beautiful. And you're using the rosehip oil, and some of you are using the snail, and you know, we're having fun with it, and we're looking younger than our age, and that's fun. It really is fun, you know, just to look our best. We're not trying to be 20 again. We're just trying to look our best, and just the fact that we are makes us relevant. My mom, when she got older, because everybody would always tell her how pretty she was, and then it stopped. And she said, when it stopped, she said one way that she got that kind of gratification from that feedback that was no more, she said she would buy herself a real pretty necklace once a year. And I know she did do this, and she was not the kind of woman who splurged, but she would always buy her favorite necklace, which was always a pearl necklace. And she would say, well, when she walked into a room, they wouldn't necessarily say, oh, Mary, you look so pretty. They would say, oh, that necklace is so beautiful. I don't think my mom ever felt that her beauty had faded. I think she only felt that her jewelry collection had grown. The next thing on the list that women over 60 worry about is their health. Only not for their health's sake, but if something were to happen to them, they worry about their spouse, they worry about their children, and they worry about their community and their neighbors if something were to happen to them. So, you know, I thought about that, and as I was reading through the article, a statistic kind of jumped out at me. But 80% of women reported that they no longer had high anxiety about their health if they had a close relationship with their physician, with their doctor. 80%. So 80% of women who have a good relationship with their physician have lower levels of anxiety about their health. And just for me personally, a couple years ago, I started to have Nicole as my doctor. She's my very first woman doctor. And I adore her, and she knows me. She watches this channel. Hi, Nicole. But what a difference in being able to pick up the phone and call my doctor, and she knows me. And she knows my issues. She thinks I'm a hypochondriac. Okay, well, whatever. I am. But we've learned to kind of tiptoe around that. She knows when something's really bad. You know, I just don't have time for regret anymore. I just don't have time for people pleasing. Now I know the things I know, and I do the things I do. And if you do not like me so, to hell, my love. To hell, my love with you. You know, the last thing I wanted to talk about on this list of worries that women have over 60 is their overwhelming feeling that they made the wrong choices in life, that they have a lot of regrets, and that the older that they're getting, the higher level of anxiety about how they will be remembered. That women have a keen sense of legacy. How will their children remember them? Did their life stand for something? And that doesn't surprise me at all. And it doesn't surprise me at all that at times all of us maybe feel that, well, if we just would have done this, or if we just would have done that, things would be better, things would be different, and we take on all that blame. Nobody else had anything to do with it. It's all us. It's all on us. Boy, if I had just taken that job, boy, I'd be living in a beautiful house. Boy, if I had just been nicer to my son when he really needed me, maybe he'd love me more. And so on, and so on, and so forth. Our anger, we don't externalize it, we internalize it. And when we internalize anger, it causes depression. So when women say they have this high level of worry about if they made the right decisions, it can really eat at you. And it can truly affect your life in a very negative way. You know, doctors were saying, whenever you feel like maybe you really blew it, to get a piece of paper and write down 10, not 5, not 6, but 10 of the best decisions that you ever made in your whole life. Decisions that affected other people's lives in a positive way. Decisions that you might be able to make in the future that would have a positive ripple effect with your family, with your friends, with your community. And they say for every single good decision that you make, that you write down, there's a weight that gets lifted off your shoulders. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to work overnight, but I know when I did this the other night, I cried. I cried for a full hour. It was as if I let myself off the hook for the first time. That yeah, I made some really, really selfish, bad decisions when I was younger. But I made some really good decisions too. And that filled my heart with such hope and joy that there are more good decisions in my future than I realized. my divorce was finalized 8 years ago. And in those 8 years, you know, I've dated, I've had some fun. Never fallen in love. I've never entertained the thought of getting married again. I used to be so afraid of being alone. Now I'm so afraid of not being alone. Hey everybody, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you liked the video, and please have yourself a calm and safe coming week, and thank you for your sacrifice. And when you're done with your week, come back and see me and Desi, okay? Alright, we'll be here.
Can't turn the tide, let the water go where